guys, it's Erin. It's been a minute. Welcome to Erin Go Live. It's supposed to be like books, life, adventure, all of that stuff, but I have been pretty absent, honestly, because I've been doing a lot of living life. So there'll be more updates about that as we go. Not a lot of reading has been happening, but almost done. But I'm getting back into the swing of things. I'm currently reading The Red Tent by Anita Diamant. I'll tell you more about that later. Right now, I've got my mom's van and their storage unit. Bought a new house, moved into the house, we major downsized. Storage has been a big problem. I recently emptied out my storage unit, which is just on the other side of this wing here, and now we need to get the Christmas stuff. So there's a lot of non-Christmas stuff in here, but there's a lot of Christmas stuff. We recently built a shed that's gonna house, mostly is gonna house Christmas stuff. My mom has just like what I think is a ridiculous amount of Christmas stuff. It's like every 5 years she goes whole hog into Christmas, and then the other years she's just like burnt out and can't do it. Like she's too tired from that one Christmas. So anyhow, I'm gonna get what I can. I'm gonna take one trip and fill up what I can and unload those, and then I'm gonna go over to the office and close my storage unit because yeah, I don't need to be paying for an empty storage unit. Okay, so I guess it's time for that life update. Oh, I didn't even mean to get Stevie in the shot there. Isn't that lovely? So, where have I been? What have I been doing? What has been occupying my time? Well, I fell in love. His name is Benji. I'm a bit of a cougar. He's 7 years younger than me, but we've actually known each other for a really long time. He used to work at the rehab home. He was the admin assistant at the rehab home where my late husband lived, in our local area here in Northern California. And so I knew him as the guy at the front desk, the admin assistant, and we had a very just like friendly relationship. I wouldn't go as far to say that we were friends, but we were more than just like acquaintances who saw each other. It was like, you ever have a friend who is like, we're never gonna like hang out, but in this specific context that we both exist in, we are friends in this realm, right? So that's what we were. A lot of things in common, a lot of things to talk about. And also his mom worked there. She was the activities director. She was there for the last 9 years of Sam's life, and I saw her 5 days a week for 9 years pretty much. So we reacquainted on Facebook. I just kind of, seen his name popped up and, just sent him like a, hey, what's up kind of thing. And then we started texting, and then that turned into like, we should hang out. And he invited me on this bike ride. The bike ride is a whole another story. It's its own story, but maybe if I can find it, I'll pop the picture up here of, we actually drove to the Sacramento airport. Rode our bikes to the Sacramento airport. And if you're at the Sacramento airport, basically you know you're home when you see this giant red rabbit statue art thingy that hangs from the ceiling. So we got the picture with the red rabbit, and we just talked the whole day. We ended up spending almost 12 hours with each other that day, and not just a few hours on a bike ride. And that just kind of sparked the friendship, and that pretty quickly turned into just wanting to spend more and more time together, on the phone, and then in person. And I could tell you like 10 different intricate stories of how it all came to be. I won't do that, but it came to be. And it's like coincidentally, providentially, however you want to look at it, accidentally, because it was like the middle of the night after we'd been hanging out, our first kiss was actually on my late husband Sam's, what would have been his 40th birthday. And we had been watching a movie, or we had actually been trying to watch movies. Here I am now going and telling you this story. So he had invited me over to watch movies, or a movie, and I didn't know, so at this point I liked him, but I didn't know if he liked me, and vice versa. And he invited me over for a movie night. So he and his mom and his sister all live together. So I didn't know, is this me and mom and sister and him in the living room, or is this me and him in the bedroom? So I was hoping it was a private showing, and it did turn out to be. He had his bed is a futon, which was in the couch position. Also, coincidentally, that was the case with Sam. Of course, we were teenagers back then, But anyway, we sit down and watch a movie. Don't remember what it was because we never actually watched it. We kept talking, and then we kept changing whatever was on Netflix, and then we weren't watching it, so we would change it. And this just happened over and over again until eventually, and it basically we started to with like just our knees touching, you know, sitting next to each other on the futon. And then just as the night wore on, we were like closer and closer. And then the first kiss happened at some point in the middle of the night, 2, 3 in the morning. And he, a little ways after that, he had to go let his dog out. So he leaves the room. I looked at my watch or my phone or whatever, and I noticed that it was August 12th. And that was Sam's birthday. And I was like, oh, wow, okay. I knew it was coming up. It didn't surprise me, but just that it happened then. So then the next day, we're hanging out in the evening. We had gone out to dinner, and we were going back to his house. And I was like, hey, I didn't want to mention this earlier. I didn't want it to make it like weird or anything like that. But today is actually Sam's birthday. Would have been his 40th birthday. And he's like asking me questions, and, you know, I'm talking, and I get choked up. Now I'm crying. And we were headed back to his house. And at this point, we went from like being friends to our first kiss to like we're together forever, like instantaneously, basically, naming our kids. And so he had told his mom that day that, oh, hey, we are now officially together. And I hadn't seen her yet. So when we got back to his house, it was going to be about that. And mom was going to be super excited. And like we weren't going to be able to continue a serious conversation. So he's like, let's go to the park down the street. So we go to the park. It's like dusk, sitting on the bleachers, just out there, and he's just letting me talk, asking me more about Sam, and just letting me cry, holding me, all of that, and not being threatened or insecure at all, and just kind of giving me what I needed in that moment. And then the security guard came, and the park was closing because it was dark, and we went home, and we had the yay, jumping and hugging, screeching excitement with his mom. But that was a really good sign that I'm with the right person, right? That he was able to hold that space for me. And he continues to. So yeah, basically we're best friends. We have all sorts of dreams of what the rest of our lives are going to entail together, and we're moving very quickly, but we're beyond the lust stage as well, you know. I mean, there's some of that that's still there, but yeah, it's just been amazing. And he loves being useful, which is really handy. He helped us build a shed that we desperately needed to build. We just did Christmas lights together at my house. And so, you know, I'll throw in some footage here of, you know, things, you know, whether it's pictures or videos and all that. And yeah, I'll have another life update coming up here, I guess next or after some beautiful bean footage.
Doing this.
No.
No. I didn't put my face on. No.
I'll just have to have you sign a waiver, that's all.
You are silly. Getting quiet. Do something. There's a disturbance in the rift.
So I filmed this portion, what I'm going to talk about now, before I filmed what you're going to see next, but the lighting was so much better in this one. Like, there's a lamp right here in front of me. And so, yeah, I was like, yeah, that looked way better. So I'm just going to refilm the part that I had filmed previously in not so beautiful lighting. Oh, in the next clip, you will need to know that this is Rocco. Rocco. Hi, handsome boy. This is Rocco. This is Benji's dog, who he loves. Rocco is almost 2. I think his birthday's in January. So he's 100 pounds, 100-pound puppy, essentially. And he's very, very good boy. He's so sweet and loving, and yeah, he's a great boy. Happy to have him, happy to call him my son. So anyhow, how about a book? I don't think I've talked about, I think I've mentioned the fact that I'm reading The Red Tent by Anita Diamant, but I have not actually told you what it is, anything about it. So this is The Red Tent by Anita Diamant. I had heard about this book before as a retelling of Dinah, the son of Leah and Jacob from the Bible. And I knew that the Red Tent is literally a tent where the women go during their period. And they, it's like with their cycle goes with the new moon, and they're all in sync together, and they basically just hang out in this red tent together, all the women together, all the women of like childbearing age during their period, and don't have their kind of regular roles and responsibilities during that time. So what was interesting about the reading of this book, well, I think I have like 80 pages left to go, so the goal is to finish this today. We'll see. I'm having kind of a slow start to the day, and certainly filming this clip twice isn't helping with my time management today. But anyhow, I started reading this book just kind of coincidentally while I was rereading Genesis, which is when we get the story of Jacob and his family. Jacob is one of the main patriarchs in the Bible, and eventually through his line, Jesus will be born. Jesus is a distant descendant of Jacob. And Jacob had 4 wives. Two are sisters, Rachel and Leah. They're kind of like the main wives, and then there's like the servant wives. They all play roles, but primarily Leah and Rachel are the main wives, and she sees them as like they're her aunts, but they're also her moms at the same time. And Dinah is our narrator, and her part in the Bible story is very small. What we're getting an expanded view of her life, but through her, we're really getting the more of the Leah, Rachel, even Rebecca, her grandmother, an expanded view of the story. From more of a personal, historical, anthropological viewpoint than just the biblical viewpoint. What was kind of like interesting but also difficult about reading this at the same time as I was reading the story from the Bible is that I would be reading the novel, and then next day I'd go back and I'd be reading the Bible story, and then I'd be like, wait, aren't we over here? Didn't she just, oh, no, okay, reacquaint myself with what's actually happening in the Bible story separate from this. One of the things, I need to adjust my arm. Sorry, no more view of the tree. That arm is too tired. So one of the things that happens throughout the Bible, particularly throughout the Old Testament, that we see in practice in the Red Tent is that, the Israelites, God's people, the Hebrews, however you want to refer to them, they go through periods of being worshiping God, believing in God, trusting in God, to times being influenced by outside forces, worldly forces, right? Depending on geographically where they are, who are around them, and just like we all do, right? We're influenced by the culture around us, by the people around us, and the same thing was true for them. So one of the things that they're being influenced by is the worship of other gods. And there's oh my goodness. Rocco makes me feel very safe. So there's a point from the Bible where there's these statues of these gods
are a part of the actual Bible story, and we get to see that happen in this novel, but kind of like expanded upon a little bit, and like what does it actually look like in practice, rather than like knowing from the Bible, like, yes, people worship other gods, and that doesn't make, that makes God unhappy, but also like what does that actually look like in practice. And so it's just more of a normal part of their day, of their daily life. And yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It's one of those where I can feel like I've only been reading for 10 minutes, but I've read 20 pages pretty quickly. It's a type of writing that I really like. I don't know how to like best describe this, because bad writing is clunky and will interrupt your reading experience, right? Overly written, for me, like flowery language can get in the way too, where I can appreciate on a sentence level, like, wow, like that was a beautiful sentence. But for me, I can completely lose the meaning in that. So this is what I would call more of like a clear prose, where I'm just able to focus on the story and the language isn't holding me back in any way. So for me, that's a really good writing style, where I'm just able to focus on the story and what's happening, rather than being focused on the language in any way. So I wouldn't even be able to give you, like, other than that, I wouldn't even be able to give you like a description of like what her prose is actually like, because I'm not paying attention to the prose, I'm paying attention to the story. And for me, that's the mark of a good book to me, or good storytelling to me. Okay, perhaps the last lifestyle update. I'm not sure. My plan is, this is the last kind of lifestyle update, and then I'll update you on the book when I finish it. But we'll see how that goes, right? Oh, hi, buddy. This is Rocco, by the way. No, you're not supposed to be on the couch. Off. Rocco, off. Off. Good boy. Thank you. If he gets on the couch, his scent is on the couch, and then the cats will pee on the couch. So that's why he's not allowed on the couch. Anyway, I'm not used to cats. Anyhow. Okay, we have to play. Ready? Ready? Rocco. Good boy. Okay. Okay. I forgot what I was updating you on. Sobriety. So if you've been following along, you'll know that in the spring, basically, I was confronted with the fact that I am an alcoholic. And May 14th is my sobriety date. And so I have a little over 7 months at this point. So it's going really well. Just had a really good, longer than normal phone call with my sponsor, pretty much right before I started filming this. And it's been going really well. So this year has been difficult. A lot of ups and downs and uncertainty. For sure. Overwhelm and uncertainty has, like, the words of 2024, right? Not the words anyone is choosing. Like, what's your word for 2025? Overwhelm and uncertainty are not going to be my words for 2025. Like, stability, calm. Yeah, maybe those will be my words for 2025. Certainly not what I wanted for 2024, but it's like we are the product of our experiences, and we learn, we grow from what we go through, right? Like, to be cliche about it, I suppose, but I totally believe that. And, sobriety has come out of this year. A kosher relationship with God has come out of this year. Falling in love with, my partner, the man I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. Getting a new son has come out of this year. And so, yeah, even though it's been treacherous, go get it. Give it to me. Bring it. Rocco, bring it. Okay. Drop it. Well, no, drop it in my hand, dude. Okay, we'll get back to him in a minute. Yeah, even though it's been a very rocky, treacherous year, it's worthwhile, right? So that's going to end the yammer here. Stay tuned for the end of the red tent.
we've reached the end of the video. I finished The Red Tent by Anita Diamant, and I keep going back and forth on my rating for this book. There are times when I was super high on it, like this is a 4.55. There are times where I was like, oh, this is more of like a 3.5. Honestly, I feel like this is one that's gonna have to sit with me for a little while. I really enjoyed the story that we got in the Bible. The family, the story of Jacob and his family is a very important, a very important biblical family. Jacob is one of the patriarchs, and Dinah's role, Dinah, who is the main character of The Red Tent, is a tiny role. And yet we get to see the story of Jacob's family through Dinah's eyes, and then get to take this person with this really minuscule role and have it expanded and get to see. What I like most about The Red Tent is that we get to take what could be a familiar story, or even if you had never read it before, it's not going to take you very long if you went to the Bible and to read that. It's a very small way to accentuate, I suppose, what you're reading in The Red Tent. And it gives us such a rich view of what life would have been like what life would have been like at that time in that family. Having multiple wives, meaning if men have multiple wives, that mean that children are going to have multiple mothers or aunts, or however they kind of view it in their family. Especially the part that I liked is Jacob's God is the God of the Holy Bible, but at that time, I almost said polygamy. Yes, polygamy, but polytheism is very big at the time, and we're seeing that. What does it look like to worship other gods, and how does a lifestyle maybe where other gods are involved, how does that kind of jive with, like, wait, this is Jacob, one of the patriarchs, right, chosen by God. God renames Jacob Israel, and so how do those things go together? So as a general project, I really liked. I really like the project. I don't know, that's like a weird word used, weird way to say it, but I really enjoyed the project of this book. I think my only lack of enjoyment, honestly, was the way that I read it. Very fits and starts, just because I'm just trying to get back into the swing of reading and reading consistently again. It is Christmas Adam, December 23rd. I just pulled up here in front of my client's house. So working 9 to 1 today, and then I have a haircut. My parents and my nieces and nephew and boyfriend and I are going to see Christmas lights. There's a street around the corner from my house that it does a big to-do, like the whole street and everything. You get a cherry picker, decorate this big pine tree on the corner, really high and all that. So that's where we are chronologically in life right now, wrapping up The Red Tent. I'm gonna settle around a 4 for The Red Tent for now, but as always, your mileage may vary, as well as my ratings will change over time, as they always do. So thank you for watching. Thank you for coming back again. If you were a regular watcher and you haven't seen me for months, thanks for clicking on my video when you saw it. Remember, every day is a great day for a great day, no matter what.